right out of 1945. Well, that's an interesting name for a website. 1945. Steven Silver is the author here. A bottle of water is $4.25. Walt Disney World might be the most expensive on Earth. This is the kind of stuff that the Walt Disney Company does not enjoy, but they've employed these crazy prices. And remember, folks, as we get to this article, we'll show it again. Bottle of water, $4.25. The reason we show it to you is because, what have they said? It's too dang hot in Disney, right? It's too dang hot in Florida. That's why people are not showing up all of a sudden for the summer vacays, even though it's always been that hot. And at the same time, they're charging a crazy amount of money just for you to hydrate. Quote, water is $4.50 for a basic Dasani. Smart water is $6.25. Food is almost unaffordable and people bring their own food now. Soon, we might as well call Walt Disney World here in Florida the most expensive place on Earth. That's what the editor-in-chief, Harry J. Cassianis, an avid Disney fan, told me just recently when it came to the most magical place on Earth. Clearly, he isn't wrong. Disney has announced its ticket price calendar for 2027, and it is raising prices on some tickets, including peak days, according to the new ticket pricing calendar. Pricing has been announced through October 2027, with pricing for November, December next year yet to be revealed. Why would they not reveal it yet? Ladies and gentlemen, you know the deal. Because they're going to go even more expensive, so they're just waiting. The ticket pricing scheme at Walt Disney World is dynamic and complex, but as The Street reported, tickets on some days will cost more than they did previously, while base level ticket prices remain unchanged. And you all know they do that for 2 days out of the entire year. Did you know that? You knew that. We know that. 2 days out of the year. That's the base level ticket prices. So, of course, they remain unchanged. Peak day pricing has quietly climbed, with the most popular dates now reaching up to $219 per day. You add on taxes, you're easily over $250, and that brings you, for a family of four, over $1,000. No food, no specials, no perks, no nothing. That's just to get in the park. $1,000 per day on the peak days, right? The days that you can go, by the way. That's what peak days are. This days around holidays when families are off so they can go. You know that? Yeah. $1,000 for a family of four. It's a 10% increase from the previous peak seen in 2025. So let's talk about it. Ron, MJ, whoever wants to go first, have at it. But we're now over the mark. For the very first time, it is more than $1,000 for a family of four to visit Disney World on many days. Sorry, not the 2 base level days that we pretend with, but many of these days, now over $1,000. Your thoughts?
Never buy water. Never buy bottled water inside Disney World, especially in the park or whatever. It's just, I mean, although I will say this, the soda pops are about the same. They're like $5 or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things that are far more expensive. And the funny thing is, it's the things that you find that are typically cheaper elsewhere, like bottles of water, like soda pop. Those things might be less expensive, but those are the things that they really get you on because they can mark them up, because if people are going to buy them, they're going to buy them. A lot of people are not buying water because they know that if you go up to any one of the quick service kiosks, they typically already have water set out and available for you in cups like ice water. But some people don't trust that or whatever, and I get that. I bring my own bottled water into the parks, which you can do.
That's a really, really good tip, Ron. If people are going to go and spend all this money, there's no need to spend more. Bring your own bottled water in. It's fine.
And there are there are certain snacks in the park that are a good value as well. So I want to be fair. Not the ticket prices, but ticket prices are outrageous. But snacks in the park, for example, if you go to get a Dole Whip, the Dole Whip pineapple upside down cake, I think is like $6 or something. It's not super out of the realm, boundaries of expense. I mean, they're going to be more expensive than other places for sure. These are theme parks, and they are theme park prices. The thing is, you have to know before you go. You're either going, if you're going on a vacation, a theme park vacation, it is an expensive vacation. They're going to set all these prices up. The highest prices that they can set up, $219 per ticket per person per day. They do not. The one thing I don't like about Disney is that they don't have. They cut the child price off at age 9, which I think is ridiculous. I think that the child price.
Right, you're an adult at 10 now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I've always thought that was ridiculous, and because of that, tons and tons of adults order the kids meal and eat it, and they don't care because they know they do it. It's one of those weird things. It's kind of always semi bothering me, but you deal with it, right? But yeah, I mean, you got to know before you go, you're planning this trip. Typically a week for 4 people at a Walt Disney World theme park vacation when you're staying on property is not going to cost you any less than 10 grand. That's just where we are at today. I mean, that's if you're doing a fairly inexpensive type of vacation. The prices have gotten, I think, incredibly out of control. And
so let's talk about how we arrived there, Ron. So we're already saying, as a baseline, if you go on the days when most people can go, because it's a holiday, that's what we call the peak days, right? We're already saying that it's $1,000 per day for a family of 4, taxes included. All right. Now, once you're in there, you got to buy food and drink. And it's really hard unless you bring your stuff in, which you can. It's going to slow you down in security, but unless you do so, I mean, $50 for kids and $100 for adults for food and beverage for the day. And that's not, I mean, like a really nice meal is going to send you over the top of that. So, but I'm just saying, like, you stop at Columbia Harbor House, you're spending $20 a person. And if you're thirsty or you're hot or you need an ice cream or whatever, that's going to be expensive too. And if you do 3 of those Columbia Harbor Houses that day, you're at $60 there. And you say, are you going to spend $40 in sodas and snacks to try to stay hydrated and all that? Yeah, you probably are. So unless you bring your food in, I think $100 per day is about probably where you're going to be without even going crazy.
Per person.
Right, per person. So you're talking about then, okay, we have family of 4. It was $1,000 to get in the door. It's $400 just to keep us going. Okay, are you going to spend Lightning Lane money because everybody else is buying a Lightning Lane? Okay, so that's going to be another $100 per person. Like, this is how we get there. And then we're not even discussing transportation. We're not even talking about hotels.
Right.
MJ, unless you're a local, in which case the price drops to the floor because they're trying to pad out the entire park with locals. MJ, unless you're a local, how are middle-class families supposed to afford this anymore?
You know, there's such a need for this information, all these tips and tricks, because if you can save money, just like our friend Ron was saying, go to the quick service stops. There is ice water at many of those locations. For example, Magic Kingdom, Cosmic Rays, you can get free iced water in there. So while you guys were talking, I was looking at the map, because you can go on the map on your experience app if you choose to. If not, the paper one does have it, folks. But the mobile map is showing me 3 refillable water stations at the Magic Kingdom, only 3 guys. And then you have 5 at Animal Kingdom, 7 at Hollywood Studios, and another 7 at Epcot. So you can go on Amazon or whatever, eBay, get yourself a refillable one with it. They even have ones with filters, and you can just, there's water fountains everywhere. Just do that, put it in your backpack. They cannot stop you in the entrance for bringing that in. You have the right to bring in your own stuff. And if they do, I have dietary needs, I need my own water bottle. They've never stopped myself or my family. Ron, you did the same thing. There's snacks. They have carrot sticks and apples. They have fruit cups. They have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. There's a lot of little snacks that you can get for like $3, $4, $5, $6. You just have to do your research ahead of time. But yeah, there's a dire need for helping people get the most bang for their buck. And if that doesn't work, you can absolutely bring a little lunchbox and put your snacks, as long as it's not anything. Ron, help me out. I think it has to be something like sandwiches, chips, apples, stuff like that, right?
I do know this. I've seen a ton more people bring food into the parks and have like in-park picnics from their stuff at home than I have in the past. And here's the issue for me. It's not even about whether you want to save money or not. It's about feeling like you shouldn't have to. Because for me, eating the park food is a huge part of the experience when I'm going.
It is.
Especially if I'm traveling from another state, like I almost feel bad for people when I see they're on such a budget that just to get into these parks, their entire family has to start splitting bologna sandwiches once they're inside, because the food is a huge part. Disney has gone out of their way to create all kinds of wonderful food concoctions that are probably not the best thing for you health-wise, but they're certainly good and delicious to eat. And So it is part of the expense planning for one of these vacations, and I think it stinks if you're scraping by, you're a family, you really want to take your kids to Walt Disney World. I mean, it's Disney World.
Yeah.
That's the dream vacation. It's been set up for years. It's, with their reputation over the last 5-10 years, maybe I don't think it's the dream vacation anymore, but there's still a lot of people who have that in their head, and they scrimp, they save, they get everything together. And finally, they get to go inside and see the Magic Kingdom, and they're all eating bologna sandwiches instead of Dole Whip. And that's that just stinks. And it shouldn't have to be that way.
Ron, to your point, I grew up in a family where we went to Disney World all the time, right? I never, ever got popcorn, cotton candy. I never had a Mickey ice cream bar until I became an adult and I could pay for my own stuff with my family. But I still have the most beautiful, I'm getting to a point, I promise. The most beautiful memory was being in the parks with my parents, getting on the rides with them, the pictures, looking back at all the Polaroid and all the pictures we took. I did not think about what food I was eating. We're living in a different era now. Now it's all about what can I eat in the park and take a picture of and put it on Instagram.
That's how it was for me with Six Flags. And I think if it's more of your local park, it's a different type of a situation than it is when it is a dream vacation and the food is part of the vacation experience. And it's because you have a local vacation experience and you have a dream destination vacation experience. And those can be very different kind of situations.
Social media has really pushed that, though, in my opinion. Social media has made it to a point where if it's not luxurious and if you're not sitting down having that amazing drink that's going viral, you're not experiencing it. That's not what it's about. Being in these parks is about being with your loved ones, your friends, your family, your children, everyone who means a lot to you, your best friend. And let's keep that momentum. Let's stay on those vibes. We're going to go have a great time. And it's not about what we can afford, what we can drink, what we can eat. Let's bring that back. I say we bring that back and scratch the rest. But if you guys are on a crunch and you have kids and you want to, save money, they do have the free kids dining plan this whole summer until the 8th of September. Just saying.
Yep. And the thing is about that, about making memories, folks, there's not that many people who want to go to Disney World or Epic Universe or Dollywood or Busch Gardens or any of the places, right? By themselves. There's not many people who say, yeah, I want to go solo, because being solo, you just watch all the other families having a good time. It turns out that the reason to go to these things is to make memories. These are giant facilitators of relationship building with your kids, with your parents, with your aunts, with your cousins, whoever you're going with, your bestie. That's what these things are here for. They're there for you to have a good time with others and to build relationships up. One more thing I'll tell you that will grind your gears, make your blood boil. Did you guys know that Starbucks, when it came into Disney World, Starbucks has a policy of offering free water, right? Cup of free water, all the way up to a venti. That's 20 ounces free filtered water. Mm-hmm. Did you know they had to stop doing that at the Disney parks? Now, I don't know if they brought them back now, but Disney made them put a stop to it because it was causing people to go there for the water versus spending all the money Disney wanted them spending on other beverages and bottled water at all those wonderful Disney kiosks. That's the part that gets on my nerves. That's the part where I say, come on. There is a line. I know you're trying to make those investors feel fine, but there's a line, Disney.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.